Welcome back. So we're here today with former professional rugby league footballer who played for the Gold Coast Titans in the National Rugby League, Matt Srama, who is now Australia's leading buyer's agent and up there in the top 1% property investors in Australia. Welcome, Matt.
Thanks for having me, ladies.
Yeah, how are you
Excited
going?
to be here.
Yeah, how's your week been? The general vibe?
The week's been good. If I reflect back on it, I'm probably sitting around an 8.5, I reckon.
And out of 10?
So vibe-wise? Bit of both.
Energy and vibe, yeah. Energy and vibe. I really brought it this week. I'm 2 weeks back from a health retreat.
Oh.
So yeah, I've just been doing a lot of reflecting, and I'm feeling good.
Yeah, amazing.
Feeling good.
Oh, that's great. We're so excited to have you here. So thanks for coming on.
Thank you.
So the inspiration behind the title of our name, Champagne and Shampoo.
Come on.
Champagne and gratitude. So every day, Jamila and I, not just on the podcast, we ask each other, what are we celebrating today and what are we grateful for? And so we start that with our guest as well. So today we'll give you a moment to think and we'll.
No, I've already done it in my.
Oh, you've got it.
routine.
Okay,
yeah.
You go first.
Right, you lead.
Yeah. What? Oh, are we all doing it?
Yeah,
I get you.
yeah.
Sorry,
Cool.
I've jumped the gun.
No, it's all good. So what are you celebrating?
What am I celebrating? I'm celebrating. I feel as though like a new sense of understanding what it takes to get to the next level in business. That's what I've had a really big week this week of learning and growth. I feel we did a team training session on Tuesday as well, and I've taken a lot of those action steps and put them in place straight away. And really grateful. I guess I was at the beach this morning and I felt the sun on the skin, just like at the health retreat. So many people were traveling from New Zealand, Western Australia, great country, everywhere, and they were just like blown away of the Gold Coast. And sometimes I got to sit back and remember that I live across the road from the beach, and it's just like wow, like people travel here and get to walk here every day. So that's what I'm grateful for, and that's what I'm celebrating.
And we live in paradise.
Oh,
Do you like
it's unreal.
Yeah, and when you know that feeling sometimes when you live somewhere else and you come back from a holiday.
Yes.
And you have that feeling, you're like, ugh, but coming back here, it's like we
Just another holiday.
I always get grateful when I come back. I'm like, man, it's good here. Like it is really good. Gone to some cool beaches overseas, but then you come back and you're like, gold is
very blessed.
Gold is on. Yeah.
It's like you get excited to come back. Like you're excited for your holiday and then you get excited to come back home because it's another holiday destination.
Yeah.
Love that.
Very grateful.
Amazing. So Jamila, what about you? What are you celebrating today and what are you grateful for?
Ooh, what am I celebrating? I'm probably celebrating showing up for myself this morning because I wasn't feeling great last night and it was a bit rough for me. And then, just choosing to be like, nope, you can do hard things. And like, not that this is hard, but when you're not feeling 100%, it can be a bit of a battle to be like, oh, should I do it? Should I not do it? So I'm celebrating being here, showing up for myself and showing up for you guys as well. So really proud of that.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you here.
Woo.
What a weapon.
What a weapon.
What a weapon.
And I'm grateful for unexpected kindness. So just like someone stopped me on the street the other day and I can't remember what they said, but they were just so nice. And it made me think as well, like in a coffee shop, someone just said to me, oh, darling, like I love your dress, or just unexpected kindness. And I think in a world where everyone's like so straighty 181 these days and like head down, like in the zone. But like when someone actually stops and says something really nice and unexpected kindness, it's like, wow, there is like beauty within the world. I think sometimes we're so like in the lane that we forget to see that. So I'm really grateful and also I guess celebrating, kindness and unexpected kindness when you don't expect it.
And giving that unexpected kindness as well, because you never know what someone's going through, and one comment
changes their day.
Absolutely, yeah.
So this is a prompt for everyone listening to this podcast. When you hear this, go and do an unexpected kindness act to change someone's day.
Have you ever gone to a cafe and you've the person before you has brought it forward? I think they're called.
Yeah. That's cool.
Eden does that.
I like that.
Oh, I love that. And then you get to the counter and your coffee's paid for and
That's
you're like,
so cool.
what?
Yeah. Maybe everyone do that today. I'll go do that after this. All right.
Drop the cafe name you go to.
Yeah. Everyone rocks up. All right. Should we get into what are you grateful for and what are you celebrating?
Yeah, cool. So celebrating this morning's yoga class was just incredible with Jackie down in the studio, and the theme was around joy, and she's an amazing teacher and she really makes us take a moment sometimes to reflect at the start of the practice. And so she made us reflect on times of joy within our lives, and it made me consider the last few weeks, and I have just had so much joy. So just got back from a friend's wedding in Brazil with a group of friends who I don't get to spend a huge amount of time with because they're based all over the world now, originally from Melbourne. But it was so nice just to have this time with them and do fun things and just, I don't know, have so much play, I guess, and, you know, cultivate that feeling of joy. And the 2 weeks leading up to going, I had a lot on and I really put the head down and put the effort in and had some pretty big days because I knew I was going to have a couple of weeks break. But when I got to Rio and was with my friends, had this feeling of home and connection, and it made me realize, like, life is about these moments of joy. And yes, okay, we go through periods of busyness, but if we don't integrate joy, like, what is the point?
100%.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So yeah, reflecting on that and just celebrating that sense of joy is amazing.
And grateful for?
And grateful for people. I feel like I say this a lot, but the people around me, my friends, family, the people on the trip that I just had I'm so grateful for them. I feel so heard and seen and cared for and looked after, and it's just amazing. And I heard a quote actually a couple of months ago, and you would have heard a lot about it's the journey, not the destination. But the variation of the quote that I heard was, it's not the journey, it's not the destination, it's the people you're traveling with.
Ooh, love that.
Yeah.
Quote book out.
Yeah, I'm just like really
that.
taking that one in. Yeah, because you so much have heard the first quote, but then it's about the people that are with you along the ride. So I really like
really
that.
good.
I'm taking that one.
That's really good.
Sure. Should we get into it?
Yeah, let's jump into it.
I love that start, by the way, ladies. Yeah,
Thank
that's
you.
really cool. Just sets the tone of like gratitude.
Yeah. And it's nice because I think we like, and you'll understand as well, when we get up and we go from one thing to the next to,
100%.
achieve our goals and perform at this level. And we often, if we don't stop and reflect on, where we've been, what we're grateful for, these amazing things in our lives, then
Just passes by.
passes by.
Yeah. Love that.
All right. First question. Ready to go?
Oh, I feel like I'm in the hot seat. Yeah.
It's Q&A all
pressure.
over again.
Yeah, let's bring some heat.
All right. So my first question for you and for our listeners is talk us through the start of becoming a pro athlete. So you've actually mentioned to me a fair few times about like as you were a kid, you manifested. Like I really want you to share the story about walking out of your house into the garden. Like I don't want to say too much, but share your story from the start to getting to a pro athlete. Like what got you there?
Yeah, well, it's upon reflection now, like I'm in my 30s, and learning more around like visualization and it's just funny. I was subtly manifesting since I was 5, essentially. So it was ingrained, I feel. Dad played footy, my brother played footy, and I was the youngest in my family. So it was kind of there ingrained. And then, from the age of 5, like I remember always, like I'd get ready in my bedroom, like it was like the locker room, and I put a jersey on, all my brother's old jerseys, and like fully just in there for like 20 minutes, just pretending I'm putting boots on.
Hyping
and like
yourself
hyping
up.
myself up in my bedroom, doors closed.
This is amazing.
Doors closed.
Meanwhile, Jamila and I have our Barbie dolls.
Exactly. Yeah. And then it's like, I'm with a team. I was on my own. And it's like, I'd open the door, and then the walkway from my bedroom to the backyard door was like the tunnel walking to it, and then I'd open the door, and then my backyard, and still the family home up in Forest Lake, from the back door to the grass, there's like this concrete area. So that was the tunnel, and then it just opened up into the backyard, and we had a pretty big backyard. So, and then I'd run out and like soak it all in, and
Like the crowd's like, woo!
yeah.
so
And then I'd
good.
literally play on my own for hours, and it's so cute seeing my nephew now. He's 5, 6. Yeah, he's doing what I used to do. He'd just run around on his own, talking to himself, doing who knows what. And I'm just looking at him like, man, I used to do that. So that's kind of where it planted. And I do that all the time. And then again, you fast forward, I made my professional debut at 20 years of age at Suncorp Stadium in front of like 40,000 people.
Wow.
And like it's still one of the coolest moments of my life, getting the chills and just the roar and Suncorp Stadium is probably the best stadium in the world in Brisbane. So I was pretty lucky.
And to debut at that.
And in my hometown, which is crazy. So, but and then like you look back, it's like, wow, I remember doing that as a kid. And then I got to do it for 7 years straight. So
it's
it was a
unbelievable.
journey. Yeah, it was really cool. It's all I ever wanted to be. It was all my mindset going into it. And I just really wanted to become a professional athlete.
If that isn't manifestation at its finest, then I don't know what is.
Yeah.
So here's your sign to start manifesting.
Yeah. Well, I
absolutely.
mean, as I got older, I really got into visualization. I do it as a practice now every single day. But as a kid, obviously, I'm not like, I need to visualize. It's just your dreams. I had imaginations but that was always implanted. And all those times, like I sacrificed it. I spoke to a lot of my schoolmates. I'm still mates with them. The times where, I probably didn't go to the house party on the Saturday because I had training on the Sunday. I didn't go to schoolies because I knew I had training the next day. And I was the only one in my team that didn't go to schoolies. And, I don't know. It was just at the time it felt hard, but then reflecting, I'm like, probably didn't miss out on much. And they actually
really
said to me,
not miss out
they
on
said to me one
anything.
day, they're like, you know what? Because they used to get upset because I'd be like, nah, I don't want to go. I could have still went, but I don't know. It was just all those choices I made in life. Not saying if you don't drink or those sorts of things, it was just like I had the sacrifice muscle and the discipline muscle from a young age, I think.
It's amazing
And,
at that age, I think, when, all your friends are doing a certain thing and you're choosing, to do the opposite, to have that discipline. It's quite incredible.
Well, when you're young as well, you want to fit in, right? Like as a teenager, I learned this week, which was really cool, like, and so true, like the three fundamental fears in life. And it's not belonging, not enough, not being loved.
Yeah, wow.
And as a teenager, you get all three. Like teens is when all three are heightened. You just want to fit in. You want to be enough. So I always cared what people think. I felt like every teenager. So I remember some of those times I was the only one. I'd feel like not at the party and I'd be like, but looking back, it's just like.
You made the right decisions.
I wanted to become the best version when it came footy time. And I owe my parents, again, like learning more and like the way you're raised. Like I think that discipline was just ingrained because I had a dad from Poland, grew up in wartime, and a mum from the Philippines as well. And their cultures, when I went back, I visited my mum's, they're just like so disciplined. They just work.
Yeah.
Probably too much, in my opinion. Yeah, too much.
Yeah, we need to find that balance
Yeah,
now.
definitely. Yeah.
So within your footy career, you had some challenges. Can you talk a little bit about that and, what you did to overcome these challenges and keep going and to get to the point where you got in your career? Yeah,
I mean, probably professional athlete. Like everyone sees what they see on the TV screen and then it's like, wow, how cool. Like these guys and girls get paid to just play sport. And it is, I was truly grateful and it's the coolest job ever. But the pressure cooker, people can't handle it. And that's why a lot of people don't. The very small percentage of people make it pro. And the reason is it's a pressure cooker like you would not believe. And the emotions, because it's your life and it's a very selfish thing. And I reflected on previous relationships and myself as well. Like it's super selfish. Like you got to put yourself first always. And it doesn't matter what everyone else is doing. This is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because it's my life. And I'm getting paid to perform.
It's your job.
So so you're paid to perform. So it's and if you're not performing, someone else is going to take your spot, and then you throw in the injuries, things like that. So I dealt with all of that: losing your spot, getting your spot back, winning a game, winning man a match, and then getting dropped, and then coming back from injury, then getting injured again. So it's just this hectic roller coaster, and then you throw on things like media. scrutiny and stuff
Fans
like that.
as well.
Fans and that, they love you one week and then they hate you the next week. Literally.
Love-hate relationship.
It was wild. It was wild.
Yeah,
And
love you when you're winning, and then the team doesn't win.
Can't stand you.
Yeah. So it was a huge pressure cooker, but you just kind of learn to block out the noise. And then that's what I mean. A lot of people can't block out the noise. Yeah.
You would have learned so many lessons during that time that you've probably taken, or definitely would have taken into your business career as well, I imagine.
100. If I was to unpack 3 of the biggest ones that just come to mind, I think number 1 is discipline. Just the ability, every single day you're flexing the discipline muscle.
Yeah.
So you got to get up for training, and then you've got to do your rehab, and then you got to stay over this amount of watts on the bike, and it's just like always.
But everything, your diet, your social life, your sleep,
everything. Like your whole day is just a whole thing of discipline. Yeah. Constantly, and that's why I respect like Olympians so much, and a lot of them in solo sport, because they can't rely on their teammates. Sometimes you can get by with your teammates pushing you along. So definitely discipline. Probably the next one was energy. How important energy is to show up, like sleep, recovery, food. Like you can't, if you don't, again, show up at your best, it's the difference. And it's the difference. Your contract gets cut. So that was the second one. And then probably the third one was a bit of a left field one, but the ability, I think, to be able to get along with different personalities in high pressure environments.
That's really interesting. I like that.
Yeah, because what I learned in business, everyone is a different personality type.
Oh, in life.
Everywhere.
You've got to adapt.
And if there's a goal we need to get towards and we all need to work together, this person's upset, this person's happy, this person's angry, this person likes feedback this way, but this person likes feedback that way. Yeah. And it's just, you all got to come together though to get it done.
Yeah. And being able to, I guess, assess how everyone works differently so that you can get the max out of them, whether it's an employee or someone you're
teammate.
Yeah, a teammate 100%. Or someone you're trying to help sign a deal with, and being able to, I guess, have empathy on where they're at and what makes them tick so that you can achieve what the end goal is. Yeah. In the most harmonious way.
Definitely. Knowing when your teammate's down and they need to pick up, and when you know your teammate's down and he's being soft. Like there's I don't know, there's just different balance. There's balances everywhere. So it's a very, very interesting thing, and different ages, because you come in, you get thrust in 18, 19 and you're with 30-year-old men every day. So it's just like, I wasn't hanging around. Like there was a core group of us young guys, but most of my friends are hanging around 20-year-olds. Yeah. But every day I'm surrounded by men. Yeah. And like mask energy constantly.
And then you go back to your friends that are your age and probably start talking about the share market. Like, what?
Just gone a few years. So you retired at 26, was it, from injury?
Yes, yeah.
26, 27?
Yep, 26, which is unfortunate,
7 years in the game, and then you had to medically retire from injury. So quickly, we want to explain to our listeners, like, we're all about sharing, creating a different lifestyle, getting out of that 9 to 5, creating the life that you deserve, seeing life through a different lens. So you have had to medically retire, and then obviously the transition from where you are now would have been hard. So I know there was a story that you mentioned, you were in waiting to go in for an operation. You saw like a real estate book or something beside you. And then that kind of like got you into, like, what was the transition now from, okay, you've just been told you can't play professional sport anymore, and now what? Yeah. Like, and how did you transition into business?
Yeah, it was a really tough time. Like, reflecting back, it was it was a really, really tough time, and I didn't really have the tools to navigate it because I guess from the age of 18 to when I ended up retiring at like 26, all I knew was playing footy and performing and training and stuff like that. I didn't know any tools on how to deal with like super tough times in life. I had resilience because you just get up and keep going, but I was really struggling mentally with the whole transition. And what I identified was that after doing the work, I did a lot of work. That's how my self-development journey actually started.
Amazing, yeah.
I just was like, I'm not feeling like Matt Srama right now, and it's my dream was gone. What I identified was my identity was lost.
Yeah.
Wow.
So my identity
awareness.
for my whole life was I'm a professional. Matt Srama is a professional athlete.
Yeah, yeah. And this happens so often with people.
Always.
They become their career.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
So my worth was attached to, like, everyone used to say, Matt, you played so well. And then I'd get that dopamine hit.
Yeah.
You know, and then my whole life and the approval of parents and loved ones as well comes into it. And so a lot of my moods were dependent on how well I played my whole career. And every athlete goes through this. And it's not until you're out you realize, wow, like that I was so in a bubble with my identity wrapped around that. So I did a lot of work to the point where I understood that, hey, I need to kind of detach myself from the identity, like, and go back to self and who I am. And I remember watching a YouTube video or something. It was from Tony Robbins, and it's like something about changing your blueprint. And he explains that we all have a blueprint in life, and we map it out, and we've always got our blueprint. But sometimes in life, your blueprint changes, and people can do two things. Most people blame the circumstance that the blueprint isn't going to plan.
So good.
So
I mean, not so good, but that quote's so good.
Yeah.
that you can blame, and most people blame.
Yeah.
It's someone else's fault. It's why me mentality. It's victim
No growth is going to come
mindset.
from that place.
Nothing, and people get stuck then. Whereas he said the other one is acceptance of the blueprint not going to plan. It's like you need to erase, because I had visions of playing professional sport till minimum 35,
Yeah.
like easy, and for that not to happen and not be able, like, definitely not happen, like it's like I have to erase that now and grab the pen back and create a new blueprint.
Because if you're attached to that and, you know, you're continually thinking, I was supposed to play till I was 35, you're wasting time. The situation, it is what it is.
Live in the now and
Live in
kind
the
of
now.
move forward.
Yeah, let's reassess the situation and move forward.
Yeah. And like I truly believe, like, life will always open up doors, and it's our job to, like, walk through them, and life will close the ones we're not meant to continue to walk through.
And sometimes it feels horrible.
Yeah.
It does, yeah.
And you don't understand why. Like, I can't imagine what it would feel like at
very
26
true.
having to medically retire and, you know, seeing that door close and, you know, thinking, well, what do you do now?
Yeah. And then the door's not opening.
Yeah.
And that's one thing as well that people have to remember, like, we'll walk through doors and just walk through them, and life will close the ones we're not meant to continue to walk through. And that's okay. If it closes on you, it's totally cool. The thing is, though, I think people sometimes in that feeling, and I was there too, and like it's definitely not easy, but don't keep a closed mind to the doors that are opening in front of you, because sometimes opportunity is in front of you, but you're so fixated on that other door, it's not opening.
Yeah. And then I think as well, looking at that as in terms of opening the new doors, I think sometimes we try force things and we try open these doors that aren't for us, and we hit all these obstacles. And I think it's not until we actually take a step back and surrender and be like, okay, let's just see where the path is.
That's it. Yeah. It's sometimes in life, it's like just we get so worried as well around going inside the door, whether it's the right decision or wrong decision. And that whole period of life gave me so much, like, I guess, sense of it's okay. Like, life, I've realized life is just full of doors opening at different times and different periods, and it's okay. Just have a crack though. Like, don't go backwards.
Yeah.
Go forwards.
So when the door did open to you, to obviously your pathway to where you are now, how did that happen? And
yeah, it's a good story because, again, you can only connect the dots backwards, right?
yeah, hindsight.
It's crazy. You can only connect the dots backwards. And where I'm sitting right now was not in the picture at all. And that's the crazy thing, because a door opened into a job as a sales agent, right? And then that closed after 12 months. It wasn't for me. Then I jumped in this other job and it closed after 3 months. And then I literally opened and closed doors for 2 years of I had that mentality of like I lost the identity of being an athlete, and I picked up Matt Srama again and what I enjoyed, and I just experimented, because the thing around an athlete is your resume is empty.
Yeah.
you come straight out of school and my resume looked like I've completed Microsoft Word and Microsoft Office. I completed grade 12, which I was proud of, and I excelled in PE, HPE.
And it must be quite difficult as well at 26. You know, comparison is obviously the worst thing for us, but you know, you would have been probably comparing yourself to your peers and people your age who, you know, may have gone to university or got a trade or, you know, started their own business and been quite far ahead of
100%.
Yeah, that would be challenging.
It's very tough for an athlete, and people forget, like, when an athlete retires, they're starting back at zero, whereas some of the peers their age are well and truly into their careers.
Yeah.
And then even from a financial point of view, most athletes, you know, 6 figures and above, and then you drop like that to 40, 50K.
Yeah.
You're back on starting minimum wage. You're getting the wage of like an 18-year-old because that's where your skill set is. So the advice I give to a lot of athletes now is start building your resume whilst you got the income, because there'll come a period where no one cares how many NRL games you played.
Yeah, exactly.
What skills and value are you bringing to society for professional performance?
Good advice. Love.
Yeah. So, that's my advice there. But on the footy stuff, I was just bouncing around into this, into that, and then just ended up starting I always listen to again, sliding doors moment. I had this job and I was working with children playing footy. It was awesome. Yeah, it was awesome. I took a break from the real estate industry as a whole. I knew it was for me because I was in my personal life, I was buying property and invested in property and I loved it. But I just didn't know where I was going. So I just took a job back with the Gold Coast Titans, which was, in hindsight, again, connecting the dots back, probably one of the best jobs that could have happened for me. It was very easy, so to speak, because it's all I ever knew. I got to learn how to communicate in front of like a lot of people because I'd be doing these sessions and I have to bring all the parents in. So I got to learn how to communicate and manage time. I had to get all the drills set up and this and that and get all the coaches organized. And another one for me was learning how to give feedback to empower people. I didn't realize I was doing that every day to all these teenagers. And I absolutely loved it. It was so cool. I really enjoyed it, seeing these kids grow from, 14 and then they become athletes and they get their first contract and stuff like that. It was a very easy job, but that was based in Parkwood and I was living down in Palm Beach. So it was a 45-minute drive in traffic each way every day. But what that did was I did a university degree in business. I had no idea about business.
Did you?
Yeah, what I mean is I just listened. I didn't do it. Sorry.
Just listening.
I didn't do a degree. I had no uni. No, I couldn't get into uni, that's for sure. But podcast, I started getting into podcasts.
Yeah.
And all I used to do, because previously I'd always listened to property podcasts.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, no one in my family's in business. And, my mum was a hotel cleaner and my dad was a garbage truck, garbo they'd call it, garbage truck collector. So
that's so Australian.
So
you put O's on the end of everything.
A garbo. Yeah. Yeah. So like business wasn't spoken around ever. And I don't know, I just had a interest in it. And then, so 45 minutes each way, I just always listened to business, just business, something about business. And then, it just built up over time. And I was like, I want to start a business and I feel I can do it. And then that's when that leap of faith. Yeah, it did. Yep. And I know you girls on previous podcasts I heard on like that leap and things like that. For me, that was another moment in life where you got to have the balls to do it.
Yeah.
A lot of people talk, but you got to jump.
Talk,
And my biggest advice is jump before your mind gets in the way.
Yeah.
Because that's good.
Because what I did was when I had the idea and I started getting that motivation, I could feel it. I was like, yep, I'm going to conquer this. I'm going to do this and that. What I learned in sport is you tap in, you double down when the moment's high.
Yeah.
So you have to act when it's on, because 99% of people let that fizzle out and motivation fades very quickly.
Yeah. And our ego kicks in and it wants us to, to keep us safe. So to keep us doing what we're doing, what it knows, not venture into this unknown space of
100%.
a new business.
It's uncertain.
It's
uncertain and we always chase certainty, right? And that's why after learning all that, when I was going through that tough transition period and what I learned as an athlete to capitalize when the motivation's high, I remember one day I was sitting at my desk upstairs at the Parkwood office, and I had the idea, and I was like, I've got to do something, otherwise, I'm too comfortable. So I literally got up out of my chair and I walked to my manager's office, of the whole thing, and I said, "Mate, I'm going to quit."
Oh, wow.
I had no clients. The business, I didn't even have a business. I just knew I had to do this because I work well under heat, and I was like, I need to just cut my income.
This is incredible.
So I got in there and they were shocked because I loved my job.
Such a good
loved my job.
Good job, to have.
I loved it. And I mean, I'd work 4 days a week, get paid pretty good to coach kids. It was amazing, so fulfilling. But I knew I wanted to try this thing over here. So I knew, because I'm too comfortable and I was certain of a wage there, I know me, I just had to cut. So if anyone's out there, I'm telling you, it was the best decision I ever made. Not because of the job. Job was amazing. It was just for me to trial this business thing over here. I just walked into the office and cut, no clients, no nothing yet, and I'll figure it out. So I had 2 weeks of income left, and then I'll figure it out. I knew I had it.
That is brave.
Yeah, it's still one of those moments in life where I get a lot of confidence out of when I feel that, I go back to that moment again, and I wouldn't be sitting here in the life I have now if I didn't.
Without that moment.
If I didn't just jump and just do it.
Yeah, because I think I sometimes get stuck in the mindset of, worst case scenario, I could go back to whatever it is.
Your safety zone.
Yeah, but that's the opposite, and that's, I don't know, that is inspiring.
It's very inspiring. I think so many people these days are like, I don't have income coming, and then they'll do it, they'll take the leap, but then they'll stay there for 3 weeks and they'll be like, oh, this is too hard, I'll just get another full-time job. If you're going to commit. Yeah. If you're making that decision to take the leap, you put everything into it. I think that's what they think it's going to be easy and everything will kind of flow and it will happen and I'll do a bit of this and I'll do a bit of that. You've got to have a clear vision, and then you've got to take that vision all the way. Otherwise, don't do it. If you can't see yourself doing that, I feel. I don't know.
Yeah, 100%. It's a really good takeaway for anyone out there who might be in that spot right now of should I do this? Should I not? What do you got to lose at the end of the day? I always think that around a lot of things in life. It's what is the worst case scenario? At the end of the day, I know it's a bit morbid, and I heard it on some podcast there, but they always talk on thinking about at the end of the day, whatever you're building, the analogy they say is you're digging a hole.
Yeah.
You're digging a hole, right? And then you're just digging life, and then what happens is that hole is going to be filled up one day, and no one's going to remember what. And the analogy they said as well, the Queen, probably the biggest person in the world and the most respected and things like that. We thought about her for 2 weeks, 3 weeks after she passed away, bless her. But she's not on my mind every day anymore.
No, yeah. At the end of the day, when we are on our deathbed and you look back, what are the things that really matter? And what are you going to regret?
And what are you going to be like, yes, I did that. I'm so proud of myself. I made the right decision in my life, and I'm content with my life. I mean, there's always going to be things where you're like, I shouldn't have done that, or I learned from this, but really you want to be like, yeah, I did the best that I could for myself.
And I think in our day and age as well, we have so many opportunities, and we can literally make a business out of anything online,
literally.
whatever. Yeah. And so why not? Why not try experience life in full while we're here?
The worst you'll get is key learnings.
Absolutely, yeah.
At the end of the day,
yeah, you're just learning from it either.
Yeah, you either win or you learn, right?
Love. Well, how much time have we got left? Not a lot. Jeez, that went so fast.
That's gone quick.
I had so much more in mind that I could sit here for hours and talk to you guys about this. But should we wrap it up in a way? And one question that I did really want to ask is for listeners and some tools for people to kind of take on board after listening to this potty is when you, I guess, how do you maintain your life essentially? You've got a lot going on. What are some rituals that you hold close to yourself to be able to show up the best you can for everyday life, to be able to keep pushing, to be the best that you can in business, for your family, in relationships, everything like that. Obviously, you live a very fast-paced life and there's a lot going on. There's a lot you want to achieve. What's some rituals that you hold close to home that helps you get through everyday life?
It's really good. Now that I think about it, I believe it's setting intentions for those sections of life. I was just listening to you there, like you said, energy, your fast, and then business, and then family. And so what I've identified, I did this around 6 years ago, and it's changed my life. And it's called the 8 Fs. And so what it is, it's fitness, family, faithful relationship. And if you're not in a relationship, that doesn't matter. It's like relationship. Friends, figurehead, aka business or career, figurehead. Finance, fun, and then finish. And what it is those 8 Fs, right? It's just an intentional way to keep an eye on all 8 of those areas of your life. And then what I do is every quarter, so the year's broken up into 4 quarters, 3, 6, 9, 12, every 3 months, setting new intentions for each one of those Fs.
Amazing.
And then what I've realized is that you can kind of rank them as well, like which is the most important down to so for me, fitness is always number one, always, because I believe if your energy is good, the rest flows on from there. And then like people say, well, what about your family? But it's like I show up way better with my family when my fitness is on, when I'm got good health. So that little method I've done, I feel has changed my life. And then all it is just setting 1 or 2 key intentions within those 8 Fs. And then I look at it every morning and night and I reflect on it and, again, visualize it and try and get a sense. Because sometimes when, like you said, Jamila, business is cranking, fun's not.
Fun's a bit low.
And I look at my goal, I'm like, well, I had 8 booked in golf sessions this quarter. I'm only on 2. That just shows me that's why I'm feeling I haven't allocated enough fun. So then it's like straight away where to create the action steps. So, chuck it in my calendar and put it in. If it means something to you, that's the key. But I found that, to answer your question, Jamil, I found that little ritual and exercise has really, really helped, the 8 Fs. And then probably in terms of the fitness side is just the morning routine. Like everyone knows how fiend I am for a morning routine. Jeez.
I'm right with you.
Yeah. You cannot contact him before like 9 o'clock because he's like,
so fair.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Fills your cup and then you're the best version of you for all of your Fs.
Yeah. It's funny. Like I always reflect, like sometimes like I'm cranking during the day and it's just like, I remember someone said, man, you work hard, like take some time. Like, man, I spent 4 hours with myself this morning.
Yeah.
Probably while you were asleep. So it's all good.
Yeah.
Like I've got my me time, like 100%. And then at night I got some night rituals too. But again, the one thing when I was going through that hard time, I read a book called The Miracle Morning. Yeah, The Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. And that significantly changed my perception of your morning routines.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. Yeah, he uses some really good analogies and frameworks. But I won't dive into it, but the whole purpose of it is create a morning that fits in with like you and things like that. But it's got to include certain things with like exercise, scribing, gratitude, appreciation, all those sorts of things. And then you just design a morning to suit you. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. And I think as well, just playing around with all different modalities and things 100%. And find out what works for you, what gives you the most energy, what makes you feel most alive, and then implementing that and just not wavering from it.
Yeah, I just got to bring up because it's fresh in mind. I was at Gwingana retreat. I came off that health retreat. Game changing.
Cannot wait to hear about this.
It was really good. But a lot of the fundamental was around your morning.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So again, I'm a fiend for miracle mornings because it just makes you feel amazing. But there's so much science behind it and it makes complete sense. but it's so structured, the mornings, and you get people coming in there who are like high performers, and you get people in there who have come out of like drug rehab and stuff like that too. Yeah. Some really successful people from the outside who are very wealthy but really struggling on the inside, and they just have not put themselves first. So a lot of it was around like the pillars of what your morning looks like. So we always started with these rituals that included movement, illuminating in terms of direct sunlight. Yeah. And they gave the thing gave a lot of science behind it all, which was cool.
So it made you understand.
Appreciate exercise around that, like what we did at the start, like gratitude, things like that. Anticipate was a really good one that I just subconsciously always do, which is preparing for the day ahead.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of knowing where you want the day to go.
So like setting an intention for yourself for the day, or actually looking at, right, what have I got on in terms of tasks?
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, it could be, I do it by calendar. I look at where my time allocation is today.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, I've seen this morning, and it's like, I want to be present. I want to bring the heat in that. And then I'm going to move from this. And just like, all I have to worry about is today.
It's your visualization again.
Yeah.
Down that tunnel the whole way.
Yeah. So yeah, which is really cool. So yeah, the importance I feel of a morning routine, I think,
takes you a long way.
Yeah. And it's time with self.
Yeah, absolutely.
Something that I don't think like a lot of people don't prioritize, because the best relationship to have in life is the one with self.
I think as well, like sitting in silence, and I've learned this from yoga and meditation, and that yourself knows the answers. The answers are in you. The answers aren't with your friends, with your parents, and not with your social media.
True.
It's in you, and to be able to discover what that is, you need to sit in silence and you need to listen.
Need the space for self to
absolutely. And if you've never done it before, it sounds like quite a foreign concept and a bit strange, but
go and do it.
Yes, go and do it. Sit in silence.
No phone.
Focus on the breath, tune in, and just actually listen to what yourself is telling you.
Yeah, your body, how you're feeling.
Your body's always telling you something, hey?
Yeah, that's what you were saying the other day.
Yeah, absolutely.
I actually said to Matt, I was like, I've got a pimple on my head. Like, I never get pimples up on my forehead. He's like, your body's telling you something.
Yeah.
I'm like, you are so right.
Yeah, absolutely. And like with stress, like we've spoken about this before,
yes.
when, you find your place in your body where you hold stress, and for me it's my traps, for you it might be somewhere else, and then it's often, for me anyway, I notice the sensation in my body and I feel it, and I'm like, oh, I think I'm getting a little bit stressed. I need to take a little time out, slow down. Yeah,
definitely.
But yeah, our bodies are amazing.
Oh, it's insane what the body can do and will tell you too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So to wrap it up, Matt, I love quotes. I love inspirational quotes. Do you have something for our listeners to help inspire them to, chase this dream, follow this path, go all in, and, just do it, see what happens?
Yes.
Yes. Pause. We'll let you think for a hot second.
What about this? I love quotes. So
I was
you've called me out a good time. What about I'm just thinking there's 3 pillars that are relevant to me right now.
Yeah.
That are really, because I always think of quotes. I'm like, they always align in a certain pillar. Mm-hmm. So the first one is just what you said there around kind of what about first? All right, business. One that's really relevant to me at the moment is you always have 2 businesses, the business you've got today and the business you have tomorrow. I think is a really good one if you're in business. Yeah. I think for self is that I believe that people don't have relationship problems. They have inner child patterns yet to to be resolved.
Oof, we all have childhood trauma, guys.
That could be a whole other podcast.
Wow. 100%, yeah.
Yeah.
I've never heard anyone say that apart from you. Well, like I have heard that term, but like in that way, it's really interesting, because then when you think about it in relationships, you're like, everything that kind of comes up, it's like, oh, that was kind of from my childhood. That's why it's affecting me. Anyway, that's another. Love that.
And then one overarching one to wrap it up, I think is, and I've just identified this with what I feel the best do in just life and stuff like that, is that like the best don't see with their eye. Like the eyes are just a mechanism to see, right? So if I was to ask you, Emma, like, how do you see? And like people say their eyes. Or what I believe to be true after identifying some of these high performers is that, like, if you're like they see through their mind, I believe.
Absolutely.
So if their mind is blind to the possibility, their eyes will be blind to the opportunity. So think through, like you got to see it before you have it in a nutshell.
It's like that manifestation as well in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the vision, the dream.
And you gotta know, if we just full circle what we said at the start, you got to know you are enough. You got to know you do belong, and you got to know you are loved too. Because if those three are lacking, no matter what goal you have and visualize, if you don't feel you deserve it, it's not going to happen. Because in life, we get what we believe we deserve, not what we want.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Let's end it there.
Yeah, wow.
Think about this.
That's a lot to take in. Love it.
Yeah, you just called me when I was in reflection mode. I was like,
yeah, you were ready for that. Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so many amazing insights, and I feel really inspired. And
let's go.
No, same. It's really good. Like I appreciate you girls having me, and it's a good reflection I've been doing when leaving meetings or appointments is, do I feel energized or do I feel drained?
Yeah.
I feel energized.
I feel so pumped.
Yeah.
I'm like,
both of you ladies deserve a place in my life.
Oh, thank you.
We
Anytime.
get a rose. That's our rose's birthday. Likewise. Likewise.
Yeah.
Inject more people in your life who are going to keep your fuel tank up.
Absolutely. And not just people as well. I think it's when you walk away from different situations and whatever you're doing. And, for people that are maybe trying to decide what their passion is, what their pathway is when you're doing certain activities, like you trying these different jobs, what fills you up, what fills your cup.
100%.
And that's the pathway you take. You don't need to see the end vision, the end goal necessarily. It's just that one step, and, using energy as a tool to decide where that step goes is so key.
Definitely.
Love it.
Yeah.
What a podcast.
What a podcast.
I mean, what an episode, but also what a podcast.
Yeah, great podcast. Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Crushing
We'll
it.
be back soon.
Bye.
Cheers.